Jai Hind, dear children, welcome back to revision. Today we are going to discuss the important points of the chapters: linear equation in two variables, lines and angles, triangles, and statistics. All these are very important topics. First, let's discuss linear equation in two variables. There we have started with the definition of algebraic expression. Then you have seen definition of polynomials. Then we have discussed about types of polynomials based on the degree of the polynomial. Polynomial of degree 1 is called linear polynomial. If the degree is 2, it is quadratic polynomial. If it is of degree 3, it is cubic polynomial and so on. In this chapter, we have discussed about linear equations. Linear equations are equations with degree 1. You can see examples here. You know what is linear equation in one variable. You studied that there is only one solution for a linear equation in one variable. What is linear equation in two variables? Just recall this definition. A linear equation in two variables has infinitely many solutions. For every value of one variable, there will be corresponding value for the second variable. The graph of every linear equation in two variables is a straight line. Every point on the graph is a solution of that equation. Another important thing, the equation of y-axis is x equal to 0 and the equation of x-axis is y equal to 0. X is equal to a constant like x equal to 9, x equal to minus 3, x minus 5 equal to 0 is the equation of a line parallel to y-axis. Y equal to a constant is the equation of a line parallel to x-axis. The graph of an equation like y equal to mx, where m is a non-zero real number, will pass through the origin. We can write a linear equation in one variable as an equation in two variables by adding another variable with the coefficient 0. You should know to represent the given statements as linear equation in two variables. You have to do more practice on this section. Our next chapter is lines and angles. Very important chapter. In this chapter, we are starting with the term point. Can you define the term point? We can say it is a small dot made by a sharp pencil on a plane, isn't it? Here you can see 2 points, point A and point B. Usually, we are using capital letters to represent points. Collection of so many points we are calling as line. Since the points are infinitely many on a plane, line is not ending. So we are saying line has no end points. By choosing any 2 points on a line, we can name the line as line AB or line BA, as in the figure. Line segment. It's a part of a line. It has 2 endpoints. We can measure the length. All these you know very well about line segment. Next is ray. It is also a part of a line with one endpoint. We are naming it as ray AB. Remember, when we name a ray, we have to start the name with the endpoint. Ray AB is not same as ray BA. Children, you know about collinear points. The points on a same line are called collinear points. Here you can see the collinear points and non-collinear points. Here we can't have a straight line through all the points A, B and C. Now let's discuss about angle. The figure formed by two rays with same initial point is called an angle. Here you can see two angles, angle AOB and angle PQR. We can name this as angle BOA and angle RQP also. In the first angle, O is the vertex and rays OA and OB are called arms of the angle. In the second one, Q is the vertex and ray QP and ray QR are arms. We can also name these angles by using only the vertex. Here we can name them as angle O and angle Q. Now let's see different types of angles. First, acute angle. Right angle. Obtuse angle. Straight angle and reflex angle. You have studied all these types of angles in lower classes, isn't it? In 8th standard, you have studied about some pairs of angles. Can you remember, children? One is complementary angle. If the sum of two angles is 90 degree, they are complementary angles. If the sum of two angles is 180 degree, we are calling the angles as supplementary angles. Another important pair of angles, adjacent angles. If two angles are having a common vertex, a common arm, and if their non-common arms are on different sides of common arm, they are called adjacent angles. Here you can see angle AOB and angle BOC are adjacent. But angle AOC and angle BOC are not adjacent. Why? They have a common vertex O, a common arm OC, but they are not satisfying the third condition. The non-common arms OA and OB are not on different sides of common arm. They are on same side of the common arm OC. So, angle AOC and angle BOC are not adjacent. Next, linear pair of angles. Two adjacent angles are called linear pair of angles if their non-common arms form a straight line. See children, here angle AOC and angle COB are adjacent with common vertex O and common arm OC. The non-common arms OA and OB make a straight line. So, angle AOC and angle COB form a linear pair of angles. See children, we can draw two straight lines in two different ways on a plane. One way is to make them intersect at one point. Another one as parallel lines. Am I right? First, let's discuss about intersecting lines. Do you know what are vertically opposite angles? When two lines intersect at one point, the angles which do not have a common arm are called vertically opposite angles. It is clear from the term itself. See, in the figure, AB and CD are intersecting at point O. And you can see two pairs of vertically opposite angles. First pair is angle AOC and angle DOB, and another one is angle AOD and angle COB. Now let's study some more important concepts about pair of angles. But we have to discuss two axioms first, which are together called linear pair axiom. First one, if a ray stands on a line, the sum of two adjacent angles is 180 degree. The sum of two angles is 180 degree. The non-common arms of these adjacent angles form a straight line. All these are very important. We have discussed some theorems on transversal and parallel lines. You should know these theorems very well for doing some problems. Next comes angle sum property of a triangle. The sum of the angles of a triangle is 180 degree. Then the exterior angle property. You should study the proofs of these two properties. There are so many important problems in the next textbook as examples and as the exercise questions. You have to write and study all these questions. Now we are going to discuss the chapter triangles. In this chapter, the last section, inequalities in a triangle, is deleted. Here we have discussed about congruent figures first. Figures having same shape and same size are called congruent figures. Then you have seen the definition of congruent triangles. Two triangles are said to be congruent if the sides and angles of one triangle are equal to the sides and angles of the other triangle. Then comes criteria for congruency of triangles. You have studied 4 criteria. First one, SAS, side angle side congruence rule. Then ASA rule. Children, you should know one more thing. By applying angle sum property, we can apply AAS congruence rule also for proving congruency of triangles. Then SSS congruence rule. And finally, RHS congruence rule. You can expect questions which are not in the textbook also to verify congruency. Then we have discussed some properties of triangles. It is mainly about isosceles triangles. Angle opposite to equal sides of an isosceles triangle are equal. The second property, the sides opposite to equal angles of a triangle are equal. You have to study all the problems in these sections very well. Here also, all the example questions are very important. Finally, we are going to discuss the chapter statistics. In this chapter, histogram with varying baselengths, frequency polygons, and measures of central tendencies are deleted. So children, you have to revise only a small portion of this chapter, such as preparation of ungrouped frequency distribution table, grouped frequency distribution table, and some related terms, construction of bar graph and construction of histogram using tables with the continuous class intervals of same class width. Here you can see some basic terms related to statistics. Read and understand everything. What is called data? Then which data is called primary data and which one is called secondary data? Then range of a data. Then comes frequency. In this chapter, you have to concentrate mainly on preparation of frequency distribution table for ungrouped and for grouped data and their representation using bar graph and histogram respectively. Children, you have to practice the textual exercise questions in the exercise 14.2 and from exercise 14.3 you have to study only the types of questions which we have discussed in our video classes. So children, after watching this video, you have to write and study the problems on these 4 chapters and then start doing the question bank which is given through the parent app. All the best children. Thank you.